Hi, I'm Jeff Skipper, international expert in leading change. Today, I want to walk you through 7 myths about change. These are statements that have been around a long time, but these no longer hold true. So let's dig in. Number 1, everybody hates change. I've seen that statement so many times in the news, and it's just plain wrong. If we hated change, we would never try new flavors of ice cream. We wouldn't check out the view from the top of the Eiffel Tower. We wouldn't get married, and we certainly would not have any kids. We change all the time. We don't hate it. We embrace it when it's right for us. Number 2, I'm bad at change. No, you're not. I can disprove that really quick. If you consider from when you woke up in this morning to this very moment, you got up, the clothes you wanted to wear, they weren't available. You wore something else. Go to the kitchen, your favorite toast is not there. You have to have cereal. You go to the coffee shop, they're no longer taking cash, so it's going to be credit. You get on the bus and there's nowhere to sit, so you're standing. And so goes your day. You're adjusting to everything around you all of the time. In fact, our brains are set up to detect change. It's why we notice the shiny objects and the squirrel that runs by. We're monitoring for potential threats or opportunities. So, are you bad at change? No, you're really good. In fact, you're a change master. Third, most change efforts fail. In fact, you might have heard the number 70%. Well, where does that come from? It originates with a book that was written in 1993, bestseller, called Re-Engineering the Corporation. And in it, the authors Hammer and Champy said this: "Sadly, we must report that despite the success stories, many companies that begin re-engineering don't succeed at it. Our unscientific estimate is that as many as 50 to 70% of the organizations that undertake a re-engineering effort do not achieve the dramatic results they intended." 3 issues with that. Number 1, unscientific. It was not based on any data. Second, re-engineering. These are massive, complicated efforts, so they have a much higher risk of failure. And third, they didn't achieve their results. It's not that they didn't achieve any results, just not all of them. Think about it. You've worked on a lot of projects. Do you think 70% of the projects you worked on failed? Failed to achieve some level of results? No. Scope levels do change. We may not get everything we originally intended, but 70% failure? Absolutely incorrect. These numbers are bogus. Another myth. Number 4, you can never over-communicate. Well, let's see. If you continue sending a message that nobody wants to hear, if it includes irrelevant information, if the presentation is really boring, I'm thinking you can over-communicate. No one listens to those messages over time. You lose credibility if you keep saying the same things that no one wants to hear. Instead, we need to be much more creative. We need to find ways to really attract people's attention in unique ways that keep them focused on the objectives. Yes, you can over-communicate. We really should be over-listening. Number 5, it takes more effort to get buy-in than it does to just force people to change. Well, on the surface, this actually does make some sense. If you were to create a law that outlawed donuts, tomorrow there would be a massive drop in sales, of course. But underground, we would have donut makers that popped in to feel the need because people really still want their donuts. And they would recognize that the secret society is there and donut makers are to be celebrated heroes of the people. So yes, you can force change, but then you're expending more and more effort to carry around a big stick in order to make sure people comply. So less effort at the beginning, but in the long run, you're much, much better to win over people's hearts and minds. Number 6, with them is all that matters. With them is what's in it for me. Now, it makes sense that to get people to change, you need to appeal to self-interest. That's true. But there are many parts of our strategies that involve change that can be painful, difficult, and don't provide any personal benefits to the individual. So with them is not enough. What can you do? Well, people will embrace change even if it doesn't serve them if we can connect the dots between the change and the greater good. So what is this going to do for the organization's longevity, security, stability, the good of our communities, the good of our country? By connecting those dots, people will buy in. And that brings us to number 7. If we build it, they will come. It's a wonderful movie phrase, but I have to be honest, I hate it. It's ridiculous. Amazon is littered with products that no one wants. Shark Tank, Dragon's Den, they turn down so many people who have built something, but no one's going to come. So you may have the best vision, you may have built up a fantastic idea of the future, but what we need to do is get people to feel what we feel. And just showing it, sending out a memo is not enough. We've got to get into direct conversation with folks. The reality is, if we engage them, they will come. That gives you 7 myths now busted. If you'd like to learn more about the innovative work I'm doing in the area of leading change, check me out at jeffskipperconsulting.com.